Hello, I want to talk to you today about if you're a diabetic, what you can eat and what you shouldn't be eating. Carbohydrate is our problem. It's a problem across the world now, not just in Western diets. Because the problem with carbohydrate is that it causes our insulin to spike. That leads eventually to insulin resistance. And this is the problem which we all have. And so in actual fact, rather than worrying about calories, the issue we should be worried about is finding a diet which avoids our insulin spiking. My name is Graham Keegan, and I can talk to you about this subject because I've been there and done it for myself. I've been overweight and I've had type 2 diabetes. On my weight side, I'm now within my healthy BMI range. I'm just shy of 12 stone, which is perfect. I want to stay just there. And I am in diabetic remission. And so I've learned how to do this. I've learned the techniques and the program I have to put my own self through, but also what I can help you with as well. So let's just first of all talk about your HbA1c level. This measures how much glucose there is in your bloodstream, how much is actually sticking to the hemoglobin. And that tells us all, and obviously the medical profession, whether we have a insulin problem or not, whether we're diabetic or not. And let's just let's look at it this way. People ask me, well, how fast can I actually drop my HbA1c level down to a level which I'm no longer diabetic and I'm in remission? Well, I achieved 2.5 points of HbA1c reduction per week. That's what I managed to do. And I've learned now how you actually do that. And so I would have thought that a target of between 2 to 3 point reduction in HbA1c per week is viable. But of course, it depends on quite a few factors. What you eat is obviously very important, to the point of being crucial, but also how much exercise you're taking, and then other lifestyle choices like sleep, water, stress. These are all things that all play a role in it. So, but I would have thought 2 to 3 points per week is viable. Diet. So what is it? Now, hang on. Let's not use this word diet. Let's use the word food regime, because diet implies a 30-day fad of something which has been read in the book, and then it's over and done with. You're back to how you were before, and everything goes wrong again. So let's talk about food regime. Let's use that sort of turn of phrase. So what does a good food regime look like? Well, it's one which is, and I'll explain all these in more detail in a moment, it's one which is high in natural fats, moderate in good healthy protein, and low in carbohydrate. Now, if you're trying to lose weight, it's very low in carbohydrate. If you're diabetic, as we're talking about here today, it should be very, very low in carbohydrate. More on that in a moment. So let's talk about fats first. Let's go through these in a bit more detail. Fats, first of all, just to dispel one or two, old wives' tales, which are all caused by an American scientist called Ansel Keys. We won't go into him for the moment. But it started in the 1960s telling us that fat was the problem in our health. Proved to be completely wrong. So fat, let's just get this clear. Fat does not make you fat. Fat does not cause your cholesterol to rise, and fat does not give you heart disease. So with that said, yes, our diets should be high in fat, high in healthy fats, the likes of cheese, avocados, nuts, olive oil, fatty fish, yes, fat in meat as well, eggs. These are all very good, nutritious foods for us to eat. And then we want to have a diet which is moderate in protein. And protein, so red meats, white meats, so fats, likes of chicken and turkey, plenty of fish and seafood, particularly oily fish like salmon is very good for us. And then finally, we want to have our diet which is low in carbohydrate. Now, this is where the issues come. Carbohydrates comes in different shapes or form, but essentially it all has sugar, and all carbohydrates cause our insulin to spike. So this is the problem food. And we need to remember that if we go back and think about our ancient hunter-gatherer ancestors, their diet would have had practically very, very little carbohydrate in it. And they would have been very fit and healthy. They certainly wouldn't have been overweight. And it's a problem with our modern diets where we have so much of this carbohydrate in our diet, which is often processed. So the three types of carbohydrate, you have what I call whole carbohydrate. So that's the likes of grains and pulses and starchy vegetables. Then you'll have your refined carbohydrates, which is your just white flour and rice. And then finally, you've got sugars, which are just sugars. That's what they are. These are the three types. And when we look at those carbohydrates, for the first type, which is the whole carbohydrate, yes, eat some, but not much at all. And we'll come back to talk about those in a bit more detail in a moment, because one of those whole grains you could be eating is wheat, and wheat has issues. Come back to that in a moment. The likes of refined carbohydrates, white flour, and rice, you really should be minimizing this right down. And when it comes to the sugars, so the sugars in biscuits and donuts and the rest of it, it should really be, just cut them out as the very best you can. And so let's have a think about wheat. Wheat is a problem for us, and for some people it's a more problem than others. Wheat itself, it's in everything. You know, it is in the likes of bread, pasta, pizza, biscuits, cakes, and it is obviously a carbohydrate, and that sort of wheat we're eating as well in those processed forms is a refined carbohydrate. And so it actually lacks that sort of wheat lacks any of the goodness from the whole grains, which provide us with fiber, etc., for our nutrition. And it causes a problem in many of us. And some of this might be familiar to you, but if you regularly eat wheat, you'll find you'll often feel quite bloated. It causes tiredness. It causes something called brain fog, and I'm sure a lot of you will be familiar with brain fog, and just how you just feel muzzy and not with it. And then also, of course, it's addictive as well. And so if you start eating wheat in your diet, and a fair bit of it, you crave it. You want more, and of course, it's just piling in the calories, causing the insulin to spike, and the problem gets worse. So after this particular video, if there's just one thing you do and nothing else, try and cut out the wheat. Yeah, the difference will be, well, significant to the point of being revelatory. Just the difference it will make for you. So with that being said, what I've done, I've linked to a video on my website which details a 2-week 5-step plan of starting to recover your health. It goes a lot more detail than what I've done here. I'll put a link in the description to this video below, and I do have a look at it. And it's a straightforward plan of 5 things you do over a 2-week period to improve your health, and you will feel the difference. I can assure you, you will feel the real difference, and it will motivate you to develop your eating habits and health more so. So I think that's probably enough for today. I think so. Eat real foods. So that's the point of what we're saying. Cut the carbohydrates right down. Eat plenty of healthy fats, moderate amount of protein, and start to feel the difference. And your insulin resistance will start to come down as your blood glucose starts to improve and get back to normality. So right. I wish you well, wish you best of health. Talk again soon.